Close your eyes and imagine standing at the edge of a forest, where the air is cool and carries with it a distant, soothing sound, the gentle rush of falling water. This is where our journey begins, at one of nature's most mesmerizing creations, the waterfall. Waterfalls have existed for millions of years, carved patiently by the endless flow of water over rock. Each one tells a story written in stone and spray, a story that began long before humans ever walked the earth. The oldest waterfalls on our planet are thought to be over 200 million years old, ancient witnesses to the slow dance of geological time. As you draw closer to the waterfall in your mind, you begin to understand why these places have always drawn people in. There's something about the sound, that constant, rhythmic falling, that speaks to something deep within us. Scientists have discovered that the sound of falling water actually produces negative ions in the air around it. These tiny charged particles are believed to increase serotonin levels in our bodies, which is why standing near a waterfall can lift our mood and help us feel more relaxed and peaceful. The waterfall before you cascades down a rocky cliff face, and as you watch, you notice how the water seems to transform as it falls. At the top, it flows smoothly over the edge, but as it descends through the air, it begins to break apart into countless droplets, creating a veil of mist that catches the filtered sunlight streaming through the forest canopy above. This transformation happens because of the force of gravity pulling the water downward at approximately 9.8 meters per second squared, causing it to accelerate and fragment as it falls. But waterfalls aren't just beautiful, they're powerful sculptors of the landscape. The constant pounding of water against rock can erode even the hardest stone at a rate of several centimeters per year. This means that waterfalls are actually slowly moving upstream over time, carving their way backward through the landscape. Niagara Falls, one of the most famous waterfalls in the world, has moved approximately 7 miles upstream over the past 12,000 years, reshaping the gorge below it stone by stone, year by year. As you settle onto a smooth rock near the pool at the base of the waterfall, you feel the cool mist on your face. The pool itself is another marvel, a place where the falling water has hollowed out a basin in the rock below through a process called hydraulic action. The force of the water traps air bubbles against the rock, and as these bubbles collapse, they create tiny shock waves that gradually break the stone apart. Over thousands of years, this creates the deep, serene pools we often find at the base of waterfalls. Looking into the clear water of the pool, you might notice how waterfalls create unique ecosystems. The constant churning of the water adds oxygen to it, creating an environment where certain fish and aquatic insects thrive. Some species of moss and ferns grow only in the spray zones near waterfalls, having adapted over millennia to live in this specific environment where they receive constant moisture but never sit in standing water. The water that's falling before you right now has traveled a long journey to get here. It may have fallen as rain in the mountains miles away, or bubbled up from underground springs, flowing through streams and rivers before finally taking this dramatic plunge. Every drop contains a story of the sky and the earth, of clouds and soil, all meeting at this one beautiful point. As the sun begins to shift in the sky, creating rainbows in the mist, you realize that no two waterfalls are exactly alike. Each one is shaped by its unique geology, the type of rock it flows over, the amount of water it carries, and the height from which it falls. Some waterfalls plunge straight down in a single drop, while others cascade in steps, and still others fan out across wide rock faces. The waterfall before you is yours to imagine, as unique as a fingerprint, as timeless as the mountains themselves. As you rest by the water's edge, breathing in the fresh, clean air, you become aware of how the temperature around a waterfall differs from the surrounding forest. The falling water creates its own microclimate, a pocket of cooler, more humid air that extends several meters around the cascade. This is why, on a warm day, you can feel the temperature drop by as much as 5 to 10 degrees as you approach a waterfall. The evaporating mist acts as nature's air conditioning, cooling everything in its gentle embrace. Listen closely now to the sound of the falling water. What you're hearing isn't just one sound, but a symphony of frequencies. The deeper tones come from the main body of water hitting the pool below, while the higher pitches are created by smaller droplets and the spray. This white noise effect is remarkably similar to the sounds used in sleep therapy and meditation, which is why the sound of waterfalls has been used for centuries to aid in relaxation and deep rest. The consistent, non-rhythmic pattern prevents our brains from trying to find meaning or patterns in the sound, allowing our minds to simply let go. In the fading light, you notice how the waterfall continues its eternal work, never resting, never stopping. Even in winter, many waterfalls keep flowing, though some freeze into spectacular ice formations. When temperatures drop below freezing, the water can create ice cascades that grow layer by layer, sometimes forming hollow tubes of ice behind the curtain of water, a phenomenon called a frozen waterfall. Yet even then, water often continues to flow beneath and behind the ice, carving and shaping, patient and persistent. The volume of water flowing over this waterfall varies with the seasons. During spring, fed by snowmelt from higher elevations, the waterfall might swell to many times its current size, becoming a thundering torrent. In late summer or during drought, it might slow to a gentle trickle. But regardless of the flow rate, the waterfall continues its ancient work, moving water from high places to low, following gravity's eternal pull toward the sea. As darkness approaches and the first stars begin to appear above the canopy, you understand something profound. This waterfall has been here long before you, and will be here long after. It has witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets, countless seasons turning. Native peoples around the world have long considered waterfalls to be sacred places, sites of power and healing where the boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds grows thin. Perhaps this is because waterfalls remind us of constancy in a changing world, of the patient, unstoppable force of nature, and of the beauty that emerges when we simply allow things to flow as they will.